Hi guys, so apparently a hot topic on YouTube at the moment is breastfeeding in public, and this resulted from a woman being asked to leave a public rec centre in the States when she was breastfeeding her child, and her husband caught it all on camera. And all this occurred during breastfeeding week, so made a big huge hoo-ha over it. So I just thought I would post my own thoughts on breastfeeding in public. Obviously, I have 3 children. You would have seen that from the intro. And I am breastfeeding my youngest, who is 4.5 months old. And obviously, I don't live in the States. I live in New Zealand, and I'm not quite sure what the laws are here, but mostly I don't think it's illegal to breastfeed here. We have these special stickers that you can find on breastfeeding friendly restaurants, and I'll try and find one and post it at the end of the video so you can see what it looks like. And basically, if that's up in the window, then you know you can go in to the cafe or the restaurant and breastfeed, no problem, no issues. Other places like McDonald's and stuff don't have those stickers up, and there are a lot of cafes in Auckland that don't have that up. And I know that in Auckland there have been a couple of issues where breastfeeding mothers have been told to cover up or leave, and of course that brings in a lot of what can I call them, protests, I guess, where groups of breastfeeding mothers get together and they go and sit in that cafe and they all breastfeed at the same time. Very much a showdown. I don't know, I've always breastfed in public, so it's not an issue for me. I don't see the problem with it. I mean, I have more issue with the Victoria's Secrets or bend on ads that you see posted on the side of the motorways. But, you know, things that are handy in Auckland, if you're at the mall, all the malls in Auckland have something called a parenting room, where they've got big comfy lounge chairs, and you can go in and you can breastfeed in there, or if you want a bit more privacy, they've got little cubicles with the same chairs in them, so they're big armchairs, and you can close a curtain and have some privacy. And I mean, the rooms are multifunction. They have all the facilities available if you are bottle feeding your child, so it's not specific to breastfeeding or bottle feeding. It's if you want to feed your child in privacy, there you go. They even have toddler toilets, so if you have a toddler that you're in the middle of toilet training, you can go and use them as well. And when I was breastfeeding Celine, because I was living in Auckland at the time, they were really handy. But, you know, if I wasn't anywhere near a mall and I wasn't anywhere near a parenting room, what was I going to do? I breastfeed in public. I did try covering a couple of times, but it's frustrating and annoying, you know. My kids don't like being covered. They just push it aside, even as newborns. And, you know, and it gets very hard to cover your child and breastfeed, because breastfeeding's hard work. It's not easy. It looks easy, but it's not easy, especially when you're trying to cover the child up and be discreet. So I only ever used it a couple of times. If I wasn't in a restaurant that didn't have the breastfeeding sign up, I would tend to go into the toilet. And, you know, it's wrong to feel ashamed about breastfeeding, so I didn't really like doing it, but it depends on the people around me, you know. If I felt that they would be what's the word? If I thought they would be a bit horrified that I was breastfeeding my child in public, then, you know, I would be discreet and go to the toilet and do it in there. And quite often, I mean, some places will even put a chair in there for you if they know that you have to breastfeed your child and you want to be discreet about it. But with Blake and Danny, I have been in Hawke's Bay, and we don't have malls here. If you want to go to a shop, you have to drive or walk to the various shops when you're in Hastings or Napier. So they don't have parenting rooms down here. And so it's a little more difficult to be discreet if you go out shopping. And you can't go and sit in the car all the time. I mean, it's 3 kids, or 2 when Celine's at school. That's too hard. Not possible. Can you imagine going to a shop and then because your baby's screaming and crying because it wants a feed, bundling everyone else back to the car so you can do it? No, sorry. So I will usually just find a place to breastfeed discreetly, and I don't bother using a cover. If I am wearing a jacket, I tend to use the jacket to sort of, just be a little more discreet about it, but otherwise, and in all honesty, I have never had anyone come up to me and say, hey, please cover up, or, you're disgusting, why are you breastfeeding in public, or anything like that. And people who do notice me when I'm breastfeeding, they usually give me a thumbs up or a smile or a nod or a good job, you're being a great mum. So they're a lot more welcoming about it down here, or at least in the places that I've been. If I'm in the library or something, or yeah. And if I'm with Danny and Blake, I've been using a wrap to carry them around when they're young. And I breastfeed on that quite easily, and nobody gives a toss. Nobody pays any attention. As far as they're concerned, I'm just carrying my baby and they don't care. Should mums cover up? No, not if they don't want to. It gets hot covering up, and babies don't like it. They get frustrated with it. Should mums be told to leave restaurants if they're breastfeeding? No. Okay, I get that a lot of people are uncomfortable about it sometimes, but baby's eating. It's a restaurant, you're eating, baby wants to eat too. So those people who kind of tell them to go, well, I mean, I can see their point of view, it's might be uncomfortable for their customers and stuff, but in reality, there's nothing wrong with breastfeeding. It's a natural thing. We need to see more of it. We actually have a campaign in New Zealand at the moment for breastfeeding, because the government's trying to encourage more mums to breastfeed, and so it would kind of be anti-campaign for the government if a restaurant or cafe owner told you to leave because you were breastfeeding. But yeah, that's just my thoughts. I've never had a problem with it. I find it strange when people do have a problem with it. Breastfeeding's hard enough without someone turning around and saying, hey, cover up. Anyway, that's just my point of view. Sorry it's a bit long. Bye.